talking about Vetiver Moloko by Nihilo. And this is, as the name implies, very much a vetiver scent. The full list of notes in it is pretty short, but it's bergamot, Bulgarian rose, cypress, milk, accord, vetiver, amyris, and vanilla. And going into it, I was kind of like, okay, that sounds nice. I don't like rose, but everything else in that sounds pretty good. But I'm really not getting that relaxing cypress, that sort of sweet, creamy milk, or amyris and vanilla much at all. To me, it's really just more of kind of a subdued yet also harsh at the same time vetiver, and I'm not a fan. I feel like even if you are a diehard vetiver fan, there are just a lot better vetiver scents out there than this, both in the sense of ones that are in this kind of category where it's very vetiver centered and kind of going for an elegance, and also, Encre Noir by Lalique to me is a lot better than this even, and that's like $50 or less. And this one is for a 50 ml, $225 as of right now in Lucky Scent, which to me, that's just, it's not worth the price at all. And I'm not the type of person who says that if something is genuinely good and it's that price. Some of my favorites are by Louis Vuitton, things like that. So it's not about it that just being expensive in and of itself. But for this, I just don't see this as being worth it. It seems like quite a few people on Fragrantica agree with me. The way the vetiver is done here is very dry, unsurprising. Vetiver is typically kind of dry, grassy, slightly earthy scent. But it's also sort of subdued here at the same time, and Moloko means milk from the title, but I'm not getting that milk accord much here at all. Even when I'm really looking for it, let alone if I didn't know it was there, there's absolutely no way that I would be thinking oh yeah, this is vanilla and milky. It would just be vetiver. I would probably think this had an Immortelle type of note to it, because it almost has that hay and almost urine tinged newspaper sort of vibe that I do not like. I'm not an Immortelle fan. And it's also pretty faint at the same time, so you're really not getting bang for your buck in kind of any sense. In my opinion, in terms of longevity, projection, those things aren't important to me with a scent, but I know for a lot of people they are, and they are not present here. They weren't on my skin, and I'm not getting that from the test strip. It's also pretty linear. I was kind of expecting, and I wasn't really looking forward to a rose and bergamot opening, because I don't like rose. Bergamot can take it or leave it. It's in pretty much everything. I didn't really get much of that at all. It kind of opened really faintly. It was oh, what is that? Sort of a little bit mature leaning. Oh yeah, and then just the vetiver comes in and just sort of floats there, just kind of dry, a bit dour, but also sort of weak at the same time. So it just doesn't work for me on any level. But if you really like vetiver and you like that sort of idea of it being kind of a dry and harsh one, but yet also a soft scent at the same time, I would recommend sampling this. You can get a sample on Lucky Scent for $5. Definitely don't blind buy, but I don't suggest blind buying anything, so I would say that regardless. But overall, just even if you're a vetiver fan, to me, some vetivers that are better than this, among many others, but Tacit by Aesop and Mon Vetiver by Essential Parfum are both excellent vetiver. And again, if you want to look at something on the cheap side, Encre Noir by Lalique, I think that's a fantastic vetiver compared to this for sure. And it just kind of stays there all the way to the end. I just can't see how this possibly is worth the price. And honestly, even if it was, half the price that it currently is, I would still feel it was overpriced, and I still wouldn't recommend it. Your taste may vary. If the notes look good to you, by all means check it out, but I wouldn't get your hopes up about the milky part, because not only for me, but from what I was seeing of a lot of other people's reviews, that's just not really coming out very strong here. And I really like milky accords, so yeah, ultimately I'm going to have to give this one a thumbs down for my taste. And even if and I like vetiver, I'm not a diehard vetiver fan, but I like it. But if you kind of feel the same way, don't even bother sampling it, I would say. If you're really, really into vetiver and want to kind of have every kind of vetiver in your collection, yeah, maybe check out a sample. But yeah, don't get your hopes up. I don't think this is worth the money at all, and I don't think that a lot of the notes that are listed are coming out very strong either.